Like different sensors are connected to a common wireless network and they provide information to a central system.
Correct. Okay. Different sensor nodes are connected to the central system. So that is nothing but a server. It is also the base station. Then the data actual processing happens in the server. The sensor nodes. The job of the sensor nodes is to sense the data. Main job is to sense the data. That is to then transfer the data to the server. Little bit of processing will happen in some of the sensor nodes. Actual processing happens in the base station only. Here you can see this diagram. Set of sensor nodes. Then you can see the users, gateway, sensor node networks. You can see these are the radio medium is a radio medium. Okay, these nodes sense the data and transfer the data to gateway. Through gateway, it is transferred to the central node. So these nodes are linked via wireless media. You can see the sensor nodes. So these nodes are linked via wireless media. Here, how the user communicates? User communicates through the internet. Yeah, one more thing I want to inform about the quiz. So quiz is scheduled anytime in today's class based on today's topic. Two questions will be given. So all of you should be attentive. Only 5 minutes is given for the quiz. It carry 2 marks. Any doubts regarding quiz? Yeah. Next, coming to the WSN architecture, it has sensor nodes, a gateway, then the observer is nothing but a user. Here you have seen that diagram. Then what is the need of all these components you need to study in detail. So main components of the sensor network are sensor nodes, gateway and the user. So sensor nodes and gateway constitute the sensor field. Gateways, what is the job of the gateway? These gateways are connected via special networks to the internet. That is, it is connected to users through internet as well as it is connected to the server. It is the intermediate between the user, actually internet and the main base station. The user's data sends to through internet. So sensing unit, what are the different ways it sends is environment data and conditions are sensed by the sensor unit. Then after, as I have explained, after that computations, a little bit of computations are carried out in a sensor node. The remaining major computations happens in the base station or the server. Okay, next coming to the Sensor node architecture. Here you can see power management. Each sensor node has power and power management unit, sensing unit, microcontroller unit, and transceiver unit. So sensor unit main job, it is a sensing part. Actually, the main job of this unit is to sense the data. Microcontroller, it is used for computations. Then transceiver unit is used for the communication. For these, the power supply is happens through the power management unit. So here you can see a detailed architecture of a wireless sensor network. Here you can see the internet user, and BS stands for the base station. Here you can see the set of sensor nodes. These communicates to the base station. Each sensor nodes in detail, the components of the sensor node is shown here. Positioning finding system, mobilizer, and then sensing unit, sensor and analog to digital converter, processing unit, a processor, and it has a storage. Transmission unit has the transceiver, and the power unit to give the power supply to all these. The main components of the sensor node are sensing unit, processing unit, and transmission unit. Sensing unit has the sensor and analog to digital converter. Processing unit has processor, storage, and transmission unit has the transceiver. So power through power generator, power unit supplies the power to these units, or you can see the parts of the sensor node. Can anybody know how the power is supplied? So power source is placed to the source sensor node's base. So why this is needed? For sensing, computing, and communication, this energy is needed. So this is supplied through in terms of batteries, or it can be a solar cells or smart systems. So that is the main drawback with respect to sensor nodes, because they have the power source is the battery. So whenever the battery is drained, in such cases, it is some of the sensor nodes, it is not possible to recharge. So those sensor nodes become dead with respect to within that network. So to save the energy, what happens is the different modes these sensor nodes will work. That is idle mode, then the active mode. Idle is nothing but a sleep mode. Most of the time during that is whenever it during the sensing it becomes active, then otherwise it goes to the sleep mode to save the energy. So how this is done? Based on the time duration, this is set. Wake up during a sensing period, then go to sleep to save the data, and after that it sends the data to the main controller or base station. Next, coming to the microcontroller. So it consists of microcontroller. It consists of the microprocessor and flash memory. So CPU stores the data in flash memory until enough data has been collected. Afterwards, whenever the data is enough, then it transfers that data to the main processing unit, that is nothing but the base station. So how this transmission happens? Through the radio, that is broadcasting. Next, coming to the transceiver. So transceiver, that is transmitter as well as receiver. It does, what happens is, the main operational states of the transceiver are receive, transmit and idle or sleep. So it is responsible for the wireless communications of a sensor node. I'll repeat, the main operational states are receive, transmit, idle and sleep. So some of the media used, you have studied already, radio frequency, infrared and laser can be used as a wireless media. So among these, you have studied in detail, that is RFID. Radio frequency is widely used. So typical operation range of this radio frequency is 10 seconds for indoors and 100 is for the outdoors. Next, coming to the next part, which is the operating system. So can anybody know about the operating system used by these sensor nodes? Name any one or two.
Linux.
Not this one, Unix. These are very small nodes. So the operating system is designed in such a way that it should make use of a little bit of space and this one. Can anybody heard about this? Tiny OS, have you heard? Tiny
No.
operating system. Okay, then the Contiki operating system. MAN TIS and VTUNT are some of the examples used by this sensor nodes. Tiny, actually, Contiki works based on the Kuja simulator. Okay, simulator, as well as we can program directly on the sensor nodes. Then one more is a Tiny OS, which is widely used with respect to the sensor nodes. Here what happens is, it is open source and energy and efficient. Event driven programming, it is based on event driven programming method. Using Tiny OS, we can directly program. If you install Tiny OS in your system and if you program that, then directly that program, if it works, that you can directly transfer that program to the sensor node. It is possible using Tiny OS. Similarly, with the Kuja simulator also, which works on Contiki operating system. These are freely available softwares. If you are interested, you can install these and you can work on the programming the sensor nodes. Next, coming to the next part, which is the gateway. Any idea about gateway? You have studied in detail, I think, network subject. Networks, computer networks. So here, gateways let the system administrators to interface nodes to personal digital assistants and personal computers. So these are works in three different states, that is active, passive and hybrid. Gateways works in three different states, active, passive and hybrid. So in case of active gateway, which lets the nodes to send the data actively to the gate server, whereas passive gateway cannot freely send the data directly to the server. So it sends the request to the server. Based on the response by the server, it sends the data to the server received by the server. Okay, what happens is it cannot directly transfer the data to the server in case of passive gateway. So it sends the request to the server. After receiving the response from the server, the data is transferred to the server node. Okay, next hybrid, which is a combination of active and passive. So which works on that is active as well as passive way. Okay, state. Next, coming to the standards, ZigBee. Have you heard of the different wireless network standards are ZigBee, Bluetooth, and 6LoWPAN. So, any idea about ZigBee? 802.15.4 is a MAC protocol used. Then Bluetooth. The last one is a 6LoWPAN, that is IPv. It indicates that IPv6 protocol for low power and lossy networks. Okay, low power personal area networks. Low. Here you have studied IPv4 addressing scheme. I think IPv6 also. Did you study IPv6 addressing scheme? Yeah, how it is different from IPv4?
I think that is 32-bit and this is 128.
Correct. Yes. Almost all IoT devices are sensor nodes. As you know, these nodes are large in number. So 32-bit addressing is not possible. So the IPv6 addressing is used. It is possible to allot lot number of sensor nodes using this addressing scheme. The standard used for this is 6LoWPAN IPv6. Here 6 stands for IPv6 Internet Protocol 6 version 6 low power personal area network. Okay, next protocol stack for WSNs. As you can see, the different layers: application layer, transport layer, network layer, data link layer, and physical layer. Then different planes, project management, mobility management, then task. So this protocol stack integrates power with routing awareness. It integrates data with networking protocols and communicates through wireless media. To save the power, that is to use the power efficiently, this protocol stack is used. So coming to the first plane, that is the power management plane. We can see the first plane as power management plane, which manages how a sensor node uses its power, and also it decides on power consumption rates during 3 different operations, that is sensing, computing, and communicating. The main operations are sensing, computing, and communication. So during this time, how the power has to be managed, that is decided by the power management plane. Next, coming to the mobility management plane. So as its name indicates, mobility, that is the movement of the sensor nodes, detects the movement of the sensor nodes. So a wireless sensor network consists of different sensor nodes which are mobile, as well as some nodes are mobile nodes, some are static nodes. So the movement of sensor nodes is managed by the mobility management plane. So it registers the mobility of sensor nodes. Always route back to the user is maintained, so that the nodes, it is possible to maintain the power by these sensor nodes. Next, the last one is a task management plane. So task management plane organizes the events. The main events are sensing the events with respect to the specific area. So that is it decides which all sensor nodes need to sense the data during a specific time within that specific area. For example, assume that a sensor network has 10 nodes. The 5 nodes are nearby. So all the 5 nodes, if they sense the data together, what happens is there is a repetition to avoid, to save the power of the sensor nodes. What happens, this task management plane decides which all nodes to be active to sense the data, and which all nodes to be not active in that specific area to sense the data. And then the other layers, as you have studied physical layer, data link layer, network and transport layer, application layer, same as you have studied with respect to OSI, isn't it? Yeah. What is the use of physical layer? Why it is used? And data link? MAC, isn't it? These you can go through. The same functioning is possible with these sensor nodes also, with respect to the other nodes, layers, application layer, transport, network and data link and physical. This is about WSN transducers. Then I'll start with the SCADA systems. A few minutes. I'll open the slide. Is the slide visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Next topic is the SCADA, the Internet of Controllers. So what is the full form of SCADA? Stands for Supervisory Control and Data Acquisition. So you might have observed in large number of industries, if you consider, which has large number of processes. So there is a need to monitor every process, and it is necessary to observe the output also with respect to each what is that each process. So the SCADA system is used to gather data from sensors, which are these sensor nodes are located in different remote places. Then later the processing will happen. Some of the examples where the SCADA system gathers the information is to detect whether there is a leakage in the pipeline has happened or not. And or the water tank, that is to whether the identify the water tank filling, whether it has reached the complete level or not. Okay. Or power monitoring. Okay, so those are the some of the examples with respect to the SCADA system. So the SCADA system is used to run on DOS as well as Unix operating systems. So it is a type of software application program for process control. So you can see a diagram there. It has a central, that is one example of a SCADA system. So there we can see the central control system, network interfaces. Here you can see one second. Slide has some problem. Yeah. Here you can see the SCADA. Here PLC, programmable logic control 1 and 2. Okay, here which is used to maintain the flow of water level. Then what might be the components of this SCADA? You have seen one example. Main is a controller, which is a controller. Yes. It has programmable logic controller, isn't it? Software. So how it is used to monitor and control the equipment? Next, about the hardware architecture. It is classified into two parts: the client layer and the data server layer. What is the job of the layer? The client layer gathers communicates between the man and machine, that is user as well as the machine. Data server layer, the the responsibility of this is to process the data. That is, after receiving the data, actual processing is performed by using the data server. The job of the data server layer is to process. So how that happens? The data servers communicate with the devices through PLCs. You have seen the first diagram, programmable logic controllers. These are connected to data servers through directly or using networks or through buses. Which all are the networks used? It can be a WAN network or a LAN network. So this data is sent to the data server where actual processing happens. This collection happens through PLCs. PLCs are connected using the different networks, that is WAN or LAN. Then what all are connected to PLCs? Sensors are connected to PLCs. Here I'll show you. The previous diagram you can see here the PLCs. This is a bus. This PLC1, PLC2, which SCADA system access the data through PLCs. These PLCs has sensors. They will sense the data and transfer that to SCADA system has the data server, so where actual data processing happens. Here this diagram you can see, this shows the hardware architecture. You can see PLCs, different n number of PLCs are connected through this network LAN. This is a SCADA where it has a database. The data sent through the network is stored in the database of a SCADA, and the processing happens here. Actually, there it has the server. These are the PLCs. Next, coming to the software architecture, you can see this diagram not clear. No need to go in detail. This shows actually the software architecture of the SCADA system. So here most of the servers are used for multitasking and real-time and make use of real-time data use, real-time data. What these sensors servers will do, they are responsible for data gathering and handling. So this diagram you can see how actually the different parts of the software architecture. Main thing you need to know is here the server SCADA system consists of a software program to provide it, that is for data gathering and handling. It makes use of multitasking technique as well as it uses the real-time database. Next, working of a SCADA system. The functions performed by SCADA are data acquisitions, data communication, data presentation, monitoring or control. In detail, how these functions are handled using SCADA. The real-time system consists of thousands of components. As you know, those components are the sensor nodes. So it is necessary to know the status of the components, whether those are working properly or not, or some of the systems in between, if the sensor nodes are not fine with the power, or if they are in the dead state, then it is necessary to find out such nodes and data. While acquiring the data, it is necessary to find out the data comes from which of the sensor nodes and what is important. These things are taken care by the data acquisition part. Some of the examples with respect to different sensors are some sensors measure the water flow from the reservoir to the water tank, and some measure the value pressure as the water is released from the reservoir. Okay, next point is about the communication, data communication. So it makes use of wired network to communicate between users and devices. Okay, remember this, SCADA system uses wired network to communicate between users and devices. So this real-time applications has lots of sensors and components which are controlled remotely. So it also makes use of internet communications. This internet communication happens by using different set of protocols. So this is possible by using remote controllers. That is to communicate between the sensor nodes and the network interfaces. Next point, that is information or data presentation. So here you can see the network consists of thousands of sensor nodes. So it is difficult to handle this data simultaneously. So this SCADA makes use of a human machine interface to provide all of the information gathered from the various sensors. HMI is used for the to provide all of the information gathered from the various sensors. Next, coming to the monitoring or control function. So it makes use of different switches to operate each device, and it also displays the status of the control area. Any part of the process can be turned on or off from the control system using these switches. Okay. Switches are used to control. So this SCADA system is implemented to work automatically without human intervention. But during any critical situations, that is handled by the manpower. Okay, that is about the monitoring and control. Next, coming to the components of SCADA system, the different components of this SCADA are supervisory system, RTUs or remote terminal units, then PLCs, programmable logic controllers, human machine interface. Okay, coming to the first one, supervisory system. Any guesses for this supervisory system? So it is supervisor means it works like a server, communication server among human machine interface software within the control room of workstations, as well as RTUs, sensors and PLCs. If you consider smaller SCADA systems which has only a single process personal computer which serve like a master system. Large SCADA systems have many number of servers. And these are interconnected to monitor the entire system. Next, coming to the RTUs or remote terminal units. These are also known as remote telemetry units. So controlling remote terminal units or remote telemetry units, controlling happens through the microprocessors. Okay, these are used to transmit the recorded data toward the supervisory system. Okay, what happens is the RTU's job is to transfer the data to the supervisory system. These are also called as remote telemetry units, and these are controlled by the microprocessors. Next, PLCs are nothing but a programmable logic controllers. So you have seen the first diagram which has the PLC. Okay, any guesses what is the job of a PLC there? One example of a SCADA system that is nothing but application. where the PLCs you have observed. So what might be the job of the PLCs? So these controllers or programmable logic controllers are connected to the sensors, which converts the output signal to the digital data into that is converting the sensed data to digital data.
So analog to digital, ADC.
Correct. Yeah. When you compare this with the RTUs, so these are flexible, and it is better to go for PLCs compared to RTUs. So mainly PLCs are used most of the systems. Okay, now 9:24. Today I'm going to inform. Today I have assignment is scheduled at 9:30. Okay. All of you be attentive and attend the quiz. Next, coming to the HMI, human machine interface. One diagram I'll show, one application with respect to this. Here you can see human machine interface. So before that, in detail, how this is used. So SCADA system uses human machine interface, as you all know, explained before. So the information is displayed and monitored to be processed by a human. So this HMI, what happens is which access multiple control units, which are the control units you have studied, PLCs or RTUs. It can be a PLC or RTU. So then it provides the graphical presentation of the system. So that example, whatever I have shown. Here, graphical picture of the pump connected to the tank. So user can see the flow of the water and pressure of the water. So main advantage or important part of HMI is the alarm system. Okay. Whenever there is a necessity, for example, water overflows, in such cases from the tank, in such cases alarm raised. Okay. That is one simple example. Similarly, there are multiple applications or advantages with respect to alarm system of HMI. Next, coming to the types of the SCADA system. The types are categorized into 4 types: monolithic, distributed, networked, then IoT SCADA systems. Monolithic. So these are first generation systems. So these are also called as first generation systems or monolithic SCADA systems. So here they makes use of mini computers. So here the systems are made independent, that is without any relation to other systems. Data gathering is happened through RTUs using backup mainframe. Next, the second type, which is a distributed SCADA system. These are called as the second generation systems. Monolithic or first generation, then distributed SCADA systems are called second generation systems. Here the distribution of control functions can be done across numerous systems by connecting with the local area network. So control operations can be performed using by sharing the real-time data and processing of the commands. Next, coming to the networked SCADA systems, here these are third generation systems. These are also called as third generation systems. The distributed and networked SCADA systems, here in case of distributed, the LAN is used, whereas in case of networked SCADA systems, the network used is a WAN, wide area network.
Excuse me, ma'am. Ma'am, we
Yes.
haven't received the link till now.
Actually, I have scheduled in assignment component using that maybe
Ma'am, so it
one.
would come. Okay, ma'am.
Yeah, you'll get now. Okay, I'll continue afterwards.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, yeah.
If the assignment is over, can we leave?
No, class is there now till 10 o'clock. 5 more minutes, one more topic I'll complete. Afterwards, if any doubts, I'll clear your doubts. Okay?
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah. Done? Everyone has submitted? I'll see. Many have not submitted. Vishnu is present. Vishnu 132. Registration number, last 3 digits. Next, 049. Alvin Roy. Not present. Next, Yeshwardhan. 178. Last 3 digits. 911178. Next, Sanjana 190. Next, 250 Shrija. Pulkit 911200. Not submitted. I think time over my. Yes, Pulkit, you did not submit. Assignment, did you submit? Quiz?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Network, okay, network data systems. Then the last one is IoT. Okay. What is the difference between networked and distributed? Here, networked WAN is used, whereas in distributed LAN network used. See, these are the networked are also called as third generation systems, and the distributed SCADA systems are also called as second generation. Coming to the last one, SCADA IoT, there it is based on cloud computing. Okay, so these are called as the fourth generation systems.
Ma'am,
So,
on the Microsoft, I mean, on the actual form response, it's showing submitted, but when I went back to my Teams, it's showing not turned in.
Pulkit, yeah, that's what I have verified. That's why I asked you.
But on the actual forms response, it is showing it has been submitted.
Okay, I'll verify later. Okay. Yeah, the IoT based are also called as fourth generation. These are based on cloud computing. So integrating the systems becomes easy compared to the other systems. So these makes use of PLCs. That's about the types of SCADA systems. I'll continue next class. Any doubts?
No, ma'am.
Then you can, 1 second, I'll download the attendance. If